Today we're going to do 9.5 day 2. So we are still solving systems of linear equations. We are still going to be trying to get rid of a variable by multiplying an equation by some number to force a variable to cancel out. All right, who can tell me which equation they multiplied by what number on number 1? Jamal? By? Good. If we multiply the top equation by 3, that's going to become a negative 9x. I'll write it off to the side. Negative 9x minus 15y equals negative 18. Okay, we multiplied by a positive, so none of the signs changed, just the numbers changed. The bottom equation we did not change. 9x minus 2y equals 18. When we combine those equations, which variable is going to cancel out now? The x. We got a negative 9x and a positive 9x. Those are going to cancel out. That's going to leave us with a negative 17y equals 0. Good. How do we finish solving for y? Divide by negative 17, and we get that y equals 0. Okay, y is going to equal 0. 0 divided by anything is still 0. We found y, but we still need to find x. So we're going to take that number for y and plug it back into one of our equations. You get to choose which one you use. I like to use the one that we haven't changed, so the bottom equation in this case. 9x minus 2 times 0 equals 18. What's 2 times 0? 0. So 9x minus 0 is just 9x. How do I finish solving for x? Divide by 9, x equals 2. So we can write our answer as an ordered pair, 2, 0. Anybody get that? One person, 2 people, 3 people. Okay. On number 2, again, you've got an option. You can either, on this problem, cancel out your x's or your y's. You have to choose which variable you're going to try to cancel out. Did anybody make a decision about what variable they wanted to get rid of? Y. Okay. If we are getting rid of y, we look at the y's. They're already different signs. One's a positive, one's a negative. So that's good. But we need them to have the same number. So how am I going to make a 2 into a 12? I have to multiply by 6. If you chose to get rid of the x's on this problem, that's fine. You should get the same answer in the very end. Your work will just look different the whole way through, or most of the way through. All right, if we multiply the top by 6, that gives us 30x plus 12y equals negative 180. Our bottom equation stays the same. 10x minus 12y equals 20. We decided at the beginning that we were trying to get rid of the y's, and we see that they will now cancel out. When I combine 30x and 10x, what do I get? $30x and 10x. 40x equals negative 180 plus 20. It's negative 160. to get x all alone. Divide by 40, x equals positive or negative? Negative. Okay, negative 4 for x. We still need to find y. So I'm going to take that number for x and plug it back in. I'll use the bottom equation. If you use the top, you should come up with the same answer. 10 times negative 4 minus 12y equals 20. What's 10 times negative 4? Negative 40. How am I going to start getting y alone? Add the 40. 20 plus 40 is 60. So we have negative 12y equals 60. The last thing to do to get y alone is divide by negative 12. What do we get for y? Positive or negative? Negative 5. So our answer on number 2 is negative 4 comma negative 5. Even if you solved differently, so you got rid of x in the very beginning, you should still get the same exact answer. Okay, we had choices to make the whole way through about how to solve it, but regardless of what choices you made, you should get the same answer in the end. All right, today we are continuing the same topic. So today's notes: in order to solve a system of equations, it might be necessary to multiply both equations. Both equations. In order for the... I lost my place there. In order for the coefficients of one of the variables to be an opposite of the other. So you might have to multiply both equations by different numbers in order to make your coefficients opposites on one of the variables. We get those blanks filled in? All right, let's practice this. For starters, I'm just going to take number 2 away so that I've got room to do number 1. So we might have to multiply both equations. So if we look at these, there's no real easy way just to make the 10 match 9 or the 9 match 10. Right? There's no easy way to make 4 match 5 or 5 match 4. So we are going to have to multiply both of these equations by numbers. You will not multiply them by the same number. You'll use a different number on the top equation than you will on the bottom. So we have to decide from the very beginning which variable we want to get rid of. Okay? It doesn't really matter. You get to pick. What do you want to get rid of? Jamal? Jamal wants to get rid of x, so we'll go with x. We have to make these two coefficients be opposites. They already have different signs, so that's good. We just have to make the numbers match. Now, the easiest way to do that is to multiply the numbers together. 10 times 9 is 90. So my goal is to make one of them a positive 90 and the other one a negative 90. If I multiply those numbers together, that definitely gives me something that I will be able to make them both into. How can I make the 10x into a 90x? Multiply by 9. So the whole top equation gets multiplied by 9. 90x minus 36y equals 90x minus 36y equals, we've got to take 9 times negative 24. What do we get? Negative 216. Good. All right, then we have to take the bottom equation and multiply it by some number. If the top equation we have a positive 90x, and the bottom we're going to want a negative 90x. So what are we going to multiply the bottom equation by to get a negative 90x? By a positive 10. It's already negative, so we don't need to change the sign on it. We multiply the bottom one by 10. Negative 90x plus 50y equals 230. Questions about what we did or why we did it? Okay. Now, when we go to combine our equations, what happens to our x variable? It cancels out, which is good. That's what we decided we wanted to happen from the beginning. If you do this step and nothing cancels out, then something went wrong. Now we combine negative 36y with 50y. Not 24. 14, good. 14y equals negative 216 plus 230 is also 14. To get y alone, divide by 14, y equals 1. We found y, we still need to find x. You get to choose, as always, which equation you're plugging it back into. You can use one of the original equations. You can use one of the ones after you multiplied. It doesn't really matter. Any of them should work. I like to use one of the original equations because my numbers are smaller there. But you get to choose top or bottom. We changed both of them. Okay, we'll just go ahead and use the bottom. So negative 9x plus 5 times 1 equals 23. What's 5 times 1? Negative 9x plus 5 equals 23. To get x alone, subtract 5. Negative 9x equals 18. Last step. Divide by negative 9. X equals negative 2. Our answer still needs to be written as an ordered pair, negative 2, comma 1. All right, on number 2, we have to choose which variable we want to get rid of. Okay, now it doesn't matter to me, but let's look at this for just a minute and think about it. Which pair, the coefficients on the x's or on the y's, is closer to being opposites right now? So to be opposites, we have to have different signs and matching numbers. The y's are closer. Why? What makes the y's closer to being opposites? Deja? So we can make them opposites. That's true about the x's also. Why do you think I think the y's are closer to being opposites already? May? Because of the signs. The y's already have different signs. Okay, so they are closer to being opposites. If you want to get rid of x, that's fine. You can still do that. It'll still come out to the right answer if you do all your steps right. But you would have to multiply one of them by a negative number. And that's okay. Sometimes you'll have to do that. But I want to get rid of the y's this time because they're closer to being opposites already because they have different signs. Okay, so like Deja said, in order to force them to be opposites, we can multiply 5 and 2 together and get 10. So I'm going to try to make them both a 10. The top one will be negative, the bottom one will be positive. To multiply and make 5 into 10, I have to multiply by a 2. To multiply 2 to become a 10, I have to multiply by 5. All right, so let's multiply our equations. If I multiply the top equation by a 2, what do I get? X minus 10y equals 6. Good. And if I multiply the bottom equation by a 5, what do I get? Equals negative 75, right? That 15 was a negative. All right. Questions about multiplying our equations? Then we need to combine them. Which variable eliminates? The y's go away. Those are opposites now. 8 plus 15. 23x equals. Good. Negative 69. To get x alone, divide by 23. What do we get for x? Negative 3. Good. Now that we have x, we still need to find y. So we have to plug x back in. You choose where it goes. Personally, I like the bottom equation again. If you want to use one of the other ones, you can. All right, so I said I like to plug this into the bottom equation on this one. That's just personal preference. If you use another one, you should still get the same answer. Three times negative 3 is negative 9. To get y by itself, what do I need to do? Add the 9 to both sides. That's going to leave me with 2y equals negative 6. Last step. Divide by 2 and y equals negative 3. All right, so my answer as an ordered pair is negative 3, negative 3. All right, on these next couple problems, I want you to give them a try on your own. I'm trying to decide. I think I want you to try to eliminate y on number 3. And then on number 4, I'll let you choose which one you want to eliminate. Okay, so on number 3, try to eliminate y. Number 4, you get to choose. If you get down to the bottom couple, you get to choose. Okay, if you get stuck and you want to ask someone near you what they did or how they're doing it, that's fine. Someone near you, not across the room from you. If you get it done and you want to compare with someone near you, that is also fine. We'll go over them in just a minute.